When you think about networking, you may think about standing around in a room full of people and shaking hands. But at Atlanta Technical College, our network technician programs prepare students in essential skills ranging from computer hardware installation and repair to help desk support and program design and development. I'm Robert Leach, Dean of Business and Public Service Technologies, and I'm excited to welcome to you our latest installment of Atlanta Tech Talks, Student Takeover Edition. In this episode, you get to hear from our former ATC Student All-Star and current president of the Alumni Association, William Merriman, who is also the college's 2019 ATC Gold Student of the Year. Let's catch up with our award-winning alumnus on the latest episode of Atlanta Tech Talks, Student Takeover Edition.
Welcome to Atlanta Tech Talks. I'm your host, Jason Warner, and this is the Student Takeover Edition. But we have a little twist to that. It's the Alumni Edition.
That's right.
We have Mr. William Merriman. Not only are you a distinguished alumni, but you're the alumni president.
Man, don't make a big deal about that. It's just a title.
Oh, let's make a big I'm about to make a big deal because on these halls, you're something like a big deal, right?
Okay.
You're a veteran.
Yes, sir.
Not only were you the gold student here, which is the highest accomplishment any student.
Yes, I was in 2019.
Not only that, you graduated and started working here at ATC.
Which was one of my life goals. Yes, sir.
And on top of that, you were in a distinguished internship program with the NFL. So you are something about a big deal. So thank you for being with us today.
You're very welcome.
So talk to us a little bit about this journey. We've heard all the amazing things that you've done, but why ATC and why IT?
Well, my journey started roughly around 2017 after my father had passed. I ended up attending his funeral and saw a lot of people that came there, standing room only. And a lot of people spoke very highly of him during that service. And so at that moment, I realized that I had some big shoes to fill.
Right.
So I ended up taking a serious look internally and decided to want to take on a new venture, which was going back to school for IT. I like problem solving, so that was what I decided to do. And being a former military veteran, they had a couple programs that was available where I could actually go back to school for free, and they would pay for everything plus give me a stipend. So I thought that was the best deal. All I had to do was show up and do the work, not knowing that when I came here, God had a purpose for me here, and I touched a lot of people's lives, and I had a tremendous journey.
Well, I can say through this journey, you're making your father proud. So congratulations.
Thank you.
You know, most people leave their institution and they're just, I'm out. But you decided that you wanted to be the alumni president. Why is it so important for not only to fill those shoes as an alumni president, but to encourage other students to stay connected to ATC?
Well, I just understand, number one, that the root of Atlanta Tech is the fact that it's a family-based environment. When I came here, I experienced a lot of different things, a lot of challenges as a student, a lot of things that I saw at the school that really and truly wasn't correct and wasn't working on behalf of the students.
Right.
So I've always believed that if you want change, you got to be the change that you want.
Absolutely.
And you got to be willing to make the sacrifices to be able to make that change come forward. And so I started getting more involved in student activities.
Right.
From student government to International Club to the Veterans Club, Skills USA is like several clubs that I participated in because I saw as a student going through that experience that if nobody's fighting for the students, then what's going to be left behind?
You talked about that involvement. Talk a little bit about your instruction that you received. And I know you advocated for students, but talk about the level of instruction that you received as an IT student here at Atlanta Technical College.
I mean, in the beginning, I had a rough path, but I learned a valuable lesson in that was that sometimes you can choose something to want to fight and take on as your task, but yet and still, you may feel like somebody's opposing your growth.
Right.
But in all actuality, God has put them in your place to be your biggest advocate later on down the line And a lot of times the reason why we end up having misunderstandings is because people don't take the time to sit down and talk with one another and get to know each other. And so once a lot of my peers and a lot of the senior staff saw that this young man, speaking of myself, was somebody that was passionate about not just what he wanted to do for himself,
Right.
but passionate about trying to see others excel, they were willing to get behind me even more and support me in every way.
So what you're saying is you had some hiccups.
Oh, yeah.
But at the same time, those hiccups turned into triumph. You had folks that would advocate for you throughout the journey. And what would you say about the advocacy for the other students since you've gone and since you've been the alumni president?
There are a lot more people that are more vocal about speaking about the things that they want to see happen. Watching me, go through my journey, and a lot of the new students that come in, I try to take the time to talk to them, kind of explain to them what they're getting into, because you got to understand, you have some students that are coming from high school to college,
Right.
and then you have some people that are making lifelong choices and decisions to want to come back to college for whatever reason, to get a better job or to, want to just learn something new. And so Atlanta Tech is just that melting pot where everybody can come here and everybody can be on the same page and be welcome as one. And so by me being here as a student, I try to leave a good legacy to the point where it's not just about what the school can do for you,
Right.
but what you can do for the school as well as others, and leave a stronger legacy.
So talk a little bit about what a potential student, right, that's thinking about ATC, and we talked earlier that your daughter was thinking about coming to ATC. Talk to us about what that student that's looking at the IT program specifically, what they should be thinking about and what they should be preparing for as they come to Atlanta Technical College.
Well, one thing I would think that you would want to be prepared for is making sure that you have the right mindset to want to complete the task.
Okay.
I think a lot of people tend to want to start something, but when things get challenging, they tend to want to give up on it. That's why most people will never be able to achieve their dreams, because they let other people dictate what they should and shouldn't do. You have to have a clear-cut direction as far as what your path should be.
Right.
If you're going into the IT program, do your research, find out what exactly you want to do, because there's so many different jobs that you can do in IT. It's a broad spectrum. So I think that you will want to be able to see if, that is something of your interest, if there's going to be growth potential in that area. Not just about the money, because most people hear IT and it's like, oh, man, I'm going to get that check. It's like, no, you have to have a passion for IT, because
Right.
you're going to always be challenged. There's never no 2 days that are ever the same in IT.
Technology is always evolving. And you started off in networking and you ended up in cybersecurity. So, there is a gap and there's some growth potential. But the great thing is you're always learning. So talk to us, as I'm going to put your alumni president hat on. Why should the current students at ATC give back to ATC and continue to stay connected?
Well, number one, there is historical value at Atlanta Technical College. This college serves so many different people in this community and abroad. Not only do we have local students, but we also have international students that come here.
Right.
When it comes down to Atlanta Technical College, I didn't know the many opportunities, like you said, being a student and going and traveling for 2 weeks over to Germany, all expenses paid.
Wow.
To be able to learn about different cultures and being open up to that. Being an ambassador for the students and speaking in front of like local politicians and officials. Also going to the state championship and being able to speak to a room full of like educators from all over Georgia and different places. You can't put a value on that impact, and all of that started right here at Atlanta Technical College.
Awesome. So, one of the things that we like to do in every episode is leave the audience with a tip, what we call our Atlanta Tech Talk success tip.
Okay.
All right, you've done it all. You served, you experienced life, you came back to school at a later age. So it could be something that you brought prior to coming to Atlanta Tech, while you're in Atlanta Tech, after leaving Atlanta Tech. But that Atlanta Tech Talk success tip. Leave us with one tip.
Have passion for whatever it is that you want to do in life and complete the mission, no matter what and no matter what the cost is. Because in the end, it will all pay off, and you'll understand why you went through what you went through.
I say we completed the mission of this episode. Like I've learned so much. I feel like our viewers are going to be exposed to the greatness of Atlanta Tech. We often get times just to talk to someone that was in one program.
Right.
You've not only been in one program, but you've served in leadership roles and you've done the spectrum. So I just like to thank you for sitting with us today. This is Atlanta Tech Talks. I'm your host, Jason Warner. This episode has been pretty awesome to me because it's the student takeover with a twist. We had the alumni edition. If you want to find out more about Atlanta Technical College, visit atlantatech.edu. I'd like to thank Dr. Victoria Seals, our president, the Marketing and Communications Department with Ms. Wardland. And again, this has been Atlanta Tech Talks. We'll see you next time.